Oh, I'm just now waking up. 83 attempts to call me during my feed, during my live stream early this morning. Are you guys okay? Are you doing well? Apparently you're not. I'm just waking up. I'm just realizing too. I went back and I was reading all the messages. And these people are so crazy. They honestly believe they're going to make others believe that I didn't get any medical treatment. You can't actually erase any of that because I have it on file. I took a big ass copy of it, and I actually have the portfolio with every single visit that I had prior to disengaging right at the end of the pregnancy due to the fact that they incarcerated me. So the fact that I took those pills directly after being incarcerated, after their BS, that is them. That's actually on the state's fault for forcing me into believing that they were going to help me, and then they didn't help me and left me walking freely on the streets. Just sleeping on park benches and all this other stuff. So you're not going to get me on child neglect. You're not going to get me. There's no way that you could. There's absolutely nothing you can do. I don't know why people presume that their word is going to withstand the actual truth. The documentation, the evidence, everything that was compiled, everything that leads up to the fact that I didn't neglect the child. I actually helped sustain the child. And when I asked you for help, when I asked you for shelter, your medical systems allowed me to walk free without that. Left me in an area an hour away from my vehicle, so I had no resources whatsoever. So I couldn't even house myself, essentially, and take care of the baby. So I ended up walking the streets and having a bunch of random people coming up to me and all this other nonsense. Why can't I smoke weed then? If the world is so toxic, if the world is such a horrible fucking monstrosity to have to deal with, and everybody's going around acting like they're better than, that's why they can take away from you, because my job says so. My badge says so. Okay. That doesn't negate the fact that you are in denial of the truth. That doesn't mean that I did anything wrong whatsoever. I feel very sorry for any individual that thinks that I'm in the wrong at in any fragment of my story. Anybody that's trying to say that I'm victimizing myself, I need to start working, I'm not going to play into your stupid nonsense. The U.S. government owes me a lot of money due to the fact that they allowed all this shit to happen to a disabled female. A disabled, traumatized female that they continued to harass. So the documents are there, the jail time is there, the things are recorded, everything is documented, everything is tracked and traced. So I took very good care of that child, never neglected him. I'll have the proof, at least for the doctor's records to show. I have every proof as to why I had that suicide attempt as well. So I'll just need to call and get the records from that facility prior to going to court that day for whatever. And I can't really even do it for the neglect case, but we know damn well I'm not going to go down for that. So whatever you guys need to do to prolong it, I'm still going to end up just signing him over to the courts. And you'll see, that's not neglect. That's actually doing the right thing by him because you neglected him. The system neglected him. The system neglected to house me. They refused to house me. And then I ended up pregnant. And then the fact that I couldn't find housing, sustainable housing for my baby because I needed a help. I needed somebody's help. I was a female. I was single. I was suffering from domestic violence in my past. I was abused. I didn't know who to turn to. I didn't know who to trust. I didn't want any more violence in my future. Well, you can't avoid the violence with these monsters that control the world. You can't. So you're not going to persuade anybody into believing nonsense. You're not going to persuade these new courts into believing, oh, they've got a murderer on their hands. No, I'm going to plead the fifth, walk away, and you can have your baby. You think you won the game. No, you're funny. I won because now I don't have any responsibilities. I have no responsibility to tend to that child because you allowed that father to the child to abuse me, to manipulate me psychologically, and rape me physically. So, no, you're not going to get away with murdering me again. You're not going to get away with this. That's why I laughed when you turned the proceedings around on me, and I thought, oh, this is what you want to play. You want to play this game? Because I'm pretty sure that I can hold out longer than you, and you're going to pass the fuck out prior to even halfway through the fucking game, bitch. So, I'm worried for everyone that has to witness this story because I'm like, how much more do you want to try to do? How much more damage do you think you're doing to me? How much more when I've lost all ability to cry now? And that makes me able to sue you for altering my mental state, not allowing me the strength to proceed. You actually defiled me more, defiled my character, slandered me. You had criminal allegations in my file that had disclosed mistruths and forced everyone to believe a bunch of nonsense about the person in front of them, because they weren't able to properly do the research, investigate that I'm a very wholesome person. I'm very, very incapable of wanting to harm innocents. So the fact that I've done any harm is viable proof that I was forced into a state of disarray and acting unlike myself. So all things capable of being sued for, the U.S. government, the states, everything. That's why they did it to this extreme, to harass me for this many years. 3 years? I guess you wanted to snap me into awareness, and that's why you stole this child, in order to prove your point, that anything I have and love can be taken away from me at any moment. I love the child very much. I would have been a wonderful mother to the child. But I am not playing your games. I'm not going through the court and having them, recognize me as mentally unstable and that I'm going to have to put in the work to have a child that I already had. Same concept with my daughter. No, thank you. Bye-bye. I'm done. Like, I already went through that. I went through the turmoil of trying to jump through those hoops, went to voluntary anger management classes, parenting classes voluntarily, and they have that on record. These places have it on record that I did that. And then you're going to tell me, oh, I'm sorry, we need you to do more parenting classes. You already know everything about babies and also their physiological changes and their little cues. And, you were such a great, wonderful mother to your daughter. But we need you to struggle more. We need you to struggle more to prove that you want to struggle more for 18 years, because if you accept this child, they're going to accept that you're crazy, and they're never going to give you that giant paycheck that you deserve over these incidences. So, I choose the money, because now I realize that love does not exist in this world. After so many months of crying, so many months of expecting that the father was actually a decent human being and he didn't have a crazy story and he didn't lie to me, and I was thinking, I held out all hope, thinking, oh my God, like maybe he is a good person. Maybe I didn't give him enough time to blah, 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 blah. Now that's blah, blah, blah. You don't expect men to do right by you. That's not something you should expect. Men have their own agenda, and that's getting off, and then they have that post-nut clarity. And for them, post-nut clarity means getting the woman away from them because he just did something he's ashamed of. And then because he's ashamed of it, he turns it around and he takes it out on the woman. And he'll either reject her, ghosting her, doing all these things, or he'll manage to, he just makes himself look bad in the entire situation. I'm going to keep this short. I wanted to share some of my thoughts right now as I was waking up so that everybody gets it, and I can make small clips of it so people can get to the point and realize, no, I'm not playing your stupid game. I'm not going to let those comments slide. Nobody's going to approve of your shit because I have every proof and evidence that I'm in the right and nothing I state is falsified, and that I'm just seeking help and you're not helping me. You're making it worse, and you made it worse not only on me but an innocent child. Like, you guys are sick. You're going to get yours. You did it to an innocent baby. Whoa. September 5th, 2022, Leticia Collins Servin. I can't wait for people to get fucking, you're fucked. Love you. Bye-bye.